Hello, and welcome in. Yes, this is a special edition of Three Guys Before the Game. This is episode number 341. This is our 2021 year in review. Dare we say, the best of. And instead of three guys, just one. You're going to hear Hoppy, and you're going to hear Brad as the show goes along. Our plan and our format is this, that we will go back and we will feature some of the best content that we were able to generate over the season, most of it coming in our one-on-one or two-on-one, or in some cases three-on-one interviews with some special guests. We'll get into that. Plus, if you're a regular, you know there are a few things that, how do we say, kind of go off the rails. I don't want to say funny because funny is, that's subjective, but it made us laugh and actually made Hoppy pee, but that's a whole nother story. Episode 341 brought to us by Caesars Sportsbook. You can download, get started with a risk-free bet of up to $1,001. And Caesars Sportsbook is the only gaming app that offers you Caesars rewards, which means that win or lose, you earn reward credits with every wager that you make. You can redeem those credits for tickets, dining, getaways, and a whole lot more. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, your full-service Konica Minolta dealer. You can go to Comax Business Systems at comaxwv.com, and one of the great things they do is they will come into your business and give you a complete audit of where you stand in your networking. Are you safe from viruses, ransom attacks, people getting into your stuff, your private information? They'll come in absolutely free and give a complete inventory and just turn it over to you and say, here's where you are, strong here, weak here, you're all good to go, or you better be careful here. Visit them, comaxwv.com. They're your full-service Konica Minolta dealer. Three Guys also brought to us by Burdett Camping, only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them at burdettcamping.com, and by West Virginia Game Changer. Become a game changer at wvgamechanger.com. All right, so let's jump right in. Had the opportunity during the course of the year to talk with a bunch of different folks, and a lot of good memories and some stories came out that, maybe we were a little aware of, some we were totally unaware of when they happened, but just a bunch of good stuff. What do you say we kick things off with Blaine Stewart, the son of former WVU football coach Bill Stewart. Blaine, in the football business himself, now a member of the staff of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had a chance to talk with Blaine about his dad's famous speech, Leave No Doubt, the story behind it, and his memories behind Leave No Doubt. Were you in the locker room for Leave No Doubt?
No, I wasn't. No, I was only in the locker room after the game.
Okay.
We got to ask. So my over-under number, if you put the over-under number at 500 for the times I've watched that, you'd sail over. How many times have you watched that?
I would say over as well. It's such a blessing that got captured, because I think I've told this story before. My dad didn't know that there was going to be a camera in there. And I'm not going to lie, he wasn't very happy when it came out on YouTube a couple months later. He was kind of, just thought that was an intimate moment between him and the guys, and it just kind of, I'm glad selfishly that it got captured so I can go back and watch it whenever I need to, and it pops up here and there when you least expect it. So I'm truly glad, but I would definitely say over for me as well, just because that's always good to go back and reflect on.
So he was bummed out there was a camera in there, and that's typical of him, right? He wanted that with him and his team. I can hear what he would be saying. But it's amazing that that's become not a great keepsake for you, but that's one of the iconic moments in college football. That's not just a West Virginia thing. No. That is all-time college football.
Yeah. Had he ever used?
Yeah, but he got over it.
Had he ever used the expression to you of "leave no doubt" when he was talking to you about playing athletics?
No, sir. The first time I heard that was during the speech. So, he might have heard it and Remember the Titans or something like that, but never verbalized.
Yeah.
How much of that was practiced versus him off the cuff? I mean, do you remember him walking around the house using any of those lines, or that was just him speaking from the heart?
he was a big note guy, so I'm sure it was written down somewhere. But no, I never caught him rehearsing or anything like that. I think once he got rolling, he just kind of went off the cuff.
No, I think you're exactly right. Once he got rolling, it was like
it seemed he was just rolling.
Of course, the same night, the Bill Stewart gave that leave no doubt speech. West Virginia beats Oklahoma, and then shortly thereafter, hours after the game, Bill Stewart was named as West Virginia's head football coach. It was a very memorable evening in Arizona, and Blaine Stewart looked back on that night and his memories.
Unbelievable game, thrilled. Never mind the negotiations that went on to become head coach. Just after the game, emotions and memories of that.
The first thing that comes to mind was one of the Fiesta Bowl people before the game. We were up in our seats, and they were like, now, if somehow you guys happen to win this game, we'll come get you at the beginning of the fourth quarter and take you down. And we kind of looked at each other like, man, that was really disrespectful. But I think a lot of people had that mindset. Like, they said, if for whatever reason you guys are in this thing, we'll come get you. But I just remember being down on the field with a couple minutes left, and, against Oklahoma, that game was never over because, they were one of the most talented teams in the country. But, as the clock was winding down, we were over to the side, and I tried to beeline it out there when he went to shake Coach Stoops' hand and found him right after he did that around. So it was just a crazy emotional game. And then being up on stage and in the locker room. And, I'm not sure what time that game ended, but people didn't go to bed at the hotel till about 3 or 4 in the morning that night. We were flying out till, the next morning. So we were back at the hotel and just kind of soaking it all in. And then obviously, just he had some conversations and then let us know that what was about to happen. And the next morning it became reality.
Yeah, that was the same exact thing. I got back late to the room, and you hear a buzz. Hey, it might be coming down. And then all of a sudden phone, hey, there's going to be a press conference tomorrow morning. And it was early because we had to get on the bus, as you said. And so it was like done. And then just in a matter of like moments, over with.
Do you remember the moment when your dad walked back into the room to talk to you and your mom about getting the job? What was that moment like?
Yeah, that was very special. We were back in the room, and like I said, it was either really late or really early. I can't even remember.
It was both.
It was both.
It was both. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we'd even gone to bed yet, but it was one of those deals. He just said, "Yeah, we're gonna get this opportunity," and there were some tears, and my mom was crying, and we were hugging each other, and just so thankful for the opportunity. Mr. Passalon giving that opportunity, and the university and the entire state just kind of giving us that chance, and it was special, and I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Staying on the topic of football, we had the opportunity to spend some quality time with former WVU standout Lance Frazier, who went on to play in the Canadian Football League, also in the NFL as well. And he told us a story about a very, very famous mountaineer, Adam Pac-Man Jones, and that relationship that was built very early on.
Give us a couple Pac-Man stories we may not know.
So Pac-Man, when he came in, this will be a good one right here because this is kind of going to mold who he ended up being. Highly competitive, hyperactive, right? Actually, he's hyper competitive. He's from the South. He's from one of those football states, and you can tell he's the guy, right? On his high school team. He was the man, right? He's blue chip type athlete, right? You meet him, and you're like, how the heck did you end up here in Morgantown, right? Mm-hmm. And Pac was an offensive stud in high school, and I don't know how many people know this, but Pac came in and he was assigned to me. I was his mentor. I was the big brother, from the jump. And Pac, it's like, hey man, I'm playing offense. Lance, I'm an offensive player. Like that's just who I am. So I'm trying to go out for running back. And I said, dude, honestly, I love you to death. I love your energy. I love how, you got that I'm fresh in the college attitude. Like I'm ready for the world. I said, we have a guy who's going to be an all-time Big East rusher. He's from New Jersey. He's really good. Not much bigger than you are. His name is Avon Coburn. If you want to get on the field right away, and the Pac-Man wanted to start as a freshman, I said, dude, your best bet is to play corner. You need to come over here with me, man, and play some D-back because, Avon is that guy, right? And so, he actually practiced with the running backs for a couple days in camp. And he came back to me a few days later. He's like, Lance, you're right. I think I'm practicing with the DBs tomorrow. Avon is really, really good. So, yeah, that's a neat Pat Manjones story. He was originally slated to be offensive, and right away he learned I'm a defensive guy.
From football, we move to basketball now. Kevin Jones, a great, great Mountaineer who's had a wonderful international career all over the world. Well, how did he get to China most recently? As we oftentimes say, there's always a West Virginia connection.
What's the communication like in games, in practices? Interpreter? Do you have enough? Do they speak English to you? How's that work?
So my team, a lot of the guys, they may not speak it that well, but they at least understand a lot of English. And then I had a Serbian coach, actually. I didn't have a Japanese coach.
Oh, okay.
Our assistant coaches, the funny thing, 2 of our assistant coaches, they went to WVU.
Excuse me?
What?
Yeah.
Who was it? Taka?
Hold on.
Was it Taka?
Yeah.
You had Taka?
Yeah.
Really?
Taka and Koda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They were 2 of my assistant
Oh,
coaches.
my goodness.
And
Good
then-
kids. Student managers here.
Yeah.
And then in Okinawa was Kenny Hamanaka.
Yeah.
He was my assistant coach there. So that's kind of how I got to Japan.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I've been having WV connections for past 3 years.
We
now.
talk about there's always a West Virginia
Always a
connection.
West Virginia
That's a big
connection.
one.
Exactly.
So those guys knew of you, and they go back and they go like, you want a cat that can go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've been with them the last 2 seasons. But so they speak English really well.
Yeah.
And then my coach was Serbian, so he spoke English. And then we had a translator to interpret what he was saying to the Japanese guys, which sometimes I don't think they said everything that he was saying, but I know for sure they didn't say everything he was saying.
That didn't all get translated over?
No.
How do you think Hugs would translate overseas? Pretty
I
well?
don't think they would be able to say anything. I don't think they would be able to say anything.
Yeah,
but
there's probably some words over there. Probably you just have to find that word. You know, new word. Probably
I think
a new
it's
word.
easier though. Like if I have somebody who's yelling at me, but I don't know what he's saying, it's easier for me to take that because I don't. Okay,
Sure.
you're yelling. I see you're getting mad, but I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
You get the
I'm
message, but
yeah,
you don't need
like,
to hear the insults. I
all
got
right,
it. Yeah.
cool. Like, all right, it doesn't bother me.
But you guys are like, you guys are pros now. You're past that point of yelling. It's more instruction, right, during the course of a game, or no?
It depends on who you have as a coach.
Okay,
Yeah.
they still yell, huh?
Yeah, they still yell. It just depends. Some guys will just let you go and play and let you figure it out on your own, and some more hands-on. Our coaches.
Back to football now. Of course, Darryl Talley's number was retired this season at WVU. We had the opportunity to talk with him, and we went way back. I mean, way, way, way back to the very first time Don Nehlen addressed Talley and the Mountaineers when Coach Nehlen took over.
What do you remember most about when Coach Nehlen arrived?
Well, first of all, Frank Cinetti was a good guy. He was a great coach. And his coaching staff is the reason why I got to WVU. Coach Nehlen, when he came in his first meeting, I never will forget it. It was in downstairs in Towers. And Frank Tinsel had his feet up on the chair. And he walked in, he told him, get your feet out of the chair. I said, well, okay, well, you got to come in and giving orders. Get your feet out of the chair. And then we're sitting there, and he tells us, you're all my guys now. I may not have recruited you, but you're all my guys. I started looking around and looked at a couple of guys from the Cleveland area, and we started looking at each other going, wait a minute. This guy's telling us we're all his guys. How is that? He didn't recruit none of us. How are we all his guys? So I listened to what he had to say, and we left, and we went and started spring ball or winter conditioning, and he wanted us to lift weights. He wanted us to do these things. And he kept telling us, do this, do that. You're going to get better. You just got to do this. And he kept telling me, you got to lift weights. You got to get stronger. We got to get bigger. And after a while, he just started doing the things that he said he was going to do. And he won you over that way. He did whatever he said he was going to do, he did. And after a while, we started believing in what he did. And I think it was the shot heard around the world when we went and beat Florida, then turned around the following year and went to Oklahoma and beat Oklahoma. We were finally on the map. And that's when I figured the classes of, 79, no, it's the class of 77, 78, and 79, in my opinion, are the classes that turned West Virginia University around.
Yeah.
Because without those guys there, I don't think we wouldn't have had a lot of the guys from our area playing football there.
You know, nowadays when it comes to recruiting, it seems that players are identified so early, like from middle school on, they're being followed. That was absolutely not the case with Darryl Talley, who had an extremely unique recruiting story. I've always loved your story about getting to WVU. I think it's an inspirational story for all young kids in any sport that are playing the game, how you were under-recruited, how injury impacted where you went to go to school, and you came in, obviously, in that period at WVU that was making the coaching change. For those that may not have heard it, can you kind of walk us through high school Darryl Talley and how it all took place that you got to Morgantown?
Yeah, I can do that. Well, number one, I wasn't recruited very highly out of high school because I'm perhaps one of the only guys that's ever gotten a full ride to any school that's only played 10 varsity football games. I played 7 football games in my junior year. I broke my hand fighting. Some guy stole my brother's bike. And me and him had words and a few other things. That's why my hand was broke. And then my senior year, I broke my ankle. And I played against the number 4 and 5 and 6 team in the state of Ohio. And in 2 of those games, I made every tackle but 2. And Gary Stevens happened to be recruiting that area at the time. And he asked me, he said, "Son, where have you been all year?" I said, "I had a broke ankle." He looked at me. He said, "You had a broke ankle and you played like that?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Okay." Next thing I knew, I was being recruited by Iowa, Iowa State, Syracuse, and West Virginia. And some Mid-American schools I got recruited by. I told Iowa and Iowa State, "You're too far away from home." And I looked at West Virginia and went, and Syracuse, I almost went there, but I liked the WVU too much more, so a lot more, because there were more guys from the Cleveland area there, and I got to know them a lot better while I was there on that trip. So I decided to go to WVU.
From a great Mountaineer defender to a great Mountaineer quarterback, Mark Bulger. Everyone remembers him, made it to the Pro Bowl, but just exactly how did he get his mark in the NFL? Actually, it was by saying no rather than saying yes. I always love those kinds of stories because I think people have in their head, "Oh, Mark Bulger went to the NFL and it was instantly, it was all, roses and everything and ice cream and it was all good." But there were times I'm thinking that you were you maybe threw a question or two in your mind, like, is this going to happen or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't burnt out like I think a lot of players get because I only played that 1 year in high school. There's a little backstory. Like the New Orleans thing, I didn't get 1 rep in practice, or in a preseason game, and I got cut for no reason, but that's whatever. And then Atlanta, I was there 2 weeks, and they wanted to sign me to a 3-year contract. And in the NFL, if they sign you as a rookie, because I was still considered a rookie, they own you for 3 years. So Charlie Army, he was the GM for the Rams at the time, because Mike Martz knew he wanted me to be with the Rams, said, "Hey, don't sign the contract." I'm literally on the way to, at the time, Flowery Branch, where the facility is for the Falcons, to sign the contract. And he goes, "Don't do it. We'll give you the money. We just can't put you on our squad right now because we're limited to 53 people. Teammates." And because they were making a run for the Super Bowl, I go, "How can I trust you? The Saints just drafted me and threw me under the bus." He goes, "We'll take care of you, I promise, and we'll make up for the money that you're going to get paid for the next 2 weeks. Coach Martz, you want to play under him?" And I said, I trusted him, and I went in, and Ron Hill was the GM at the time. He wasn't happy with me. He closed the door. And we had a conversation, and they kicked me out of the building. And I went home. That was it. And then the Rams did. They kept their word, and that was that.
Oh, this is good. Okay, wait a second. Let's get some details
dive
here.
Into this. Stop here for a minute.
No, there's so much. There's so
this is good stuff. No, this is good stuff. So you're driving over to Atlanta. Atlanta thinks they're going to sign Mark Bulger. You going in?
I was already there for a workout, and they offered me a 3-year contract because you're in the NFL when you're a rookie. I don't know how the rules are now, but yeah, they had you for 3 years.
Okay. And you're by yourself?
Yeah, who's with
no
you?
Agent? You're by yourself?
Yeah. Yep. And Charlie Army called me because he got wind of it. And then I had to walk in, and they had the contract papers out there. I said, you know what, I'm going to pass. Because I went there for a visit coming out of West Virginia, and they told me if I lasted past the second round, they were going to take me. So I told Ron Hill, which I have everything worked out fine. Nothing against him, but you told me you were going to draft me second round, so I didn't feel bad. I sat there till the 6th round. You could have drafted me, so I said, no, we're done. I'm going to the Rams.
Oh, that's a good one, Mark.
Oh, he got so mad at me.
Wait a second. How mad? How mad? Like how mad?
His face got red mad, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, on a scale of F-bombs, 1 through 10, being the 10 is the high-level nuclear F-bomb, how many? Was it a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 F-bomb?
I don't know. You guys pick it, but it's a kid who was cut for a whole pretty much year and threw football with his dad at a city school at Alderdice in Pittsburgh, and telling you no, and you're a GM of an NFL team, what would you think? So there you go.
I'm impressed you walked in there and were able to say no. That's not that's not an easy position to be in necessarily.
No, I've learned the word no is really good in life.
Back to Mountaineer basketball now, and we were joined by Kevin Pitznoggle, and that in itself was exciting because Kevin just does not do a whole lot of interviews. If you may remember, Kevin Pitznoggle was in the very last recruiting class of Gail Catlett. So while he did play for John Beilein, never did play for Gail Catlett, but almost did play for Dan Dockich. He looks back at that. You go from Dave Rogers at Martinsburg, and then you're supposed to play for Coach Catlett, but then John Beilein arrives on scene. When you I got a giggle out of it. What was in your mind when all that started to happen?
Well, my biggest recollection is I was playing in Germany when it all happened, when the Albert Schweitzer games, and I got a phone call from Dan Dockich while I was in Germany because he got the job.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I'm your new coach. When you get back, we're going to talk. And I said, okay, that's fine. So I got back from Germany from playing down there in those high school Albert Schweitzer games, and I gave him a call. I gave WU a call, and they said, well, we're currently in a search for a new coach. I said, well, Dan Dockich called me and said he was the coach. And they said, well, no, he's not the coach now. I said, that was just a week ago. They said, well, he left. I said, oh, this can't be good.
Wow.
So then a couple of days later, Coach Beilein had gotten the job and called and said, and he actually came down to Martinsburg and sat with me and explained his offense and talked, and really worked out to be obviously the best situation for me.
So, I
was just going to say, so did you, was it at that point when he's talking to you and explaining, did he say he's going to use you, here's how I see you fitting in, or did it take getting, okay, so you knew right away that, hey, this is going to work.
It was almost like immediate. Like he said, here's my offense, here's how it works, here's what your role would be within the offense. Obviously, you would have to earn time and you would have to do all this, but ultimately, here's what we do and here's how it works. And as long as you earn your time, like here's how successful you could be within this offense.
We were absolutely thrilled to catch up with WVU's Kristen Quackenbush, whose name now is Kristen DeBartolomeo. She told us why West Virginia, and, you know, there are always a lot of different reasons why athletes choose a school. Kristen's perhaps was the most unique. Do you remember first visit in to Morgantown?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was that like then? So we're talking 92-ish, you're probably being recruited.
Yes, and I think it was, did we play Penn State that year?
So I'm trying to think out loud.
It was a big game.
Okay,
it was a big game. And I loved it. It was everything that I explained earlier. It was a small town, big athletics. I mean, a full stadium. And I don't think they're allowed to do this anymore.
Don't worry about it.
It's always a good start of a good story. I don't think they're allowed to do this. This is always good.
But at the time, they in the student section, they would lift the student up.
Oh, yeah.
Like pass
absolutely.
them
Pass them around. Sure.
So, of course, the recruit gets lifted up. And
You got passed through the student section?
Yeah.
On your visit?
Yes.
On your visit?
Yes. And maybe a little bit too much information here, but about halfway up, my butt was bitten so hard it left a mark.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you heard
Excuse
me right. No joke. All serious. I mean, yes.
What episode is this?
This would be 293-ish.
She just brought the line of history in this show. Halfway up, my butt was bitten. Says quack. Hyphen
It's
quack.
truth. It's truth.
Yeah.
And that sold you? You said
That was-
okay, sold. Go in there.
You're right. It was October 24, 1992, West Virginia, Penn State. They're 14th in the country. Huge crowd, 66,663.
Overcapacity.
Overcapacity. One of the biggest crowds of all time. And you got your butt bit, and you said, I'm in.
Where do I sign? Linda, where do I sign? I'll sign now.
Can we just do it now? I don't need to go home and think about it. I'm in. Not all of our guests were former Mountaineers. We enjoyed our time together with Mike Florio of ProFootballTalk.com, a West Virginia native, raised in Wheeling, now lives in Bridgeport, where each day he hosts a national talk show. He told us how ProFootballTalk.com finally got the traction that became a national brand.
What was the post that got so much traffic that you went, oh, I might have something here?
Well, I think it was more, I think the whole Mike Vick thing from 2007, when I smelled a rat from the get-go, when I saw the original circumstances, property owned in rural Virginia. Mike Vick bought a house in rural Virginia. Never goes there, according to him. Cousin there got into some issue. It was a weed bust or something like that. And then the authorities show up, and they basically go out the back door and like, hey, what's all this dogfighting equipment? And,
right.
And
training camp.
Yeah. It's dogfighting training camp. And all the buildings are painted black for some reason. How does he not? Wait, there's no way in hell the guy who bought that property doesn't know what's going on there. There's no way. And I remember thinking, how hard is it going to be for somebody to see where he had credit card charges at the local convenience store, at the local gas station, wherever. You're going to be able to figure out that he's been there. And when he took such a hard, I have no knowledge of what goes on there, it's like, well, this is, no, he does. And he's involved in it. And we pushed it. I know there are people in the business who think that the feds wouldn't have got involved if we hadn't been pushing it. I don't believe that, but I know that there are people who believe that because the prosecutor there in Surrey County, Virginia, Gerald Poindexter was his name. He was determined to punt. He was determined. He didn't want to take on the dream team. He didn't want this fight. He's on salary. Whatever his motivation, he was not gonna. That was my opinion. He was not going to go after this, and the feds got involved, and that was that. That was the thing that I think gave us credibility. It showed that we have influence, and it just kept, and again, that slow rolling snowball picked up a little more momentum.
We also had the opportunity to spend some time with now WVU football recruit Nico Marchiol before he had signed on the dotted line to become a Mountaineer. He originally had signed to play at Florida State, but then West Virginia got involved. We asked Nico exactly what he knew about WVU before he became a Mountaineer.
Go back to the West Virginia thing. I find that interesting. So you're seeing the stuff on Twitter, you're seeing the graphics, you're seeing the interest. What was West Virginia before you saw all that? Do you remember seeing any games? Do you remember seeing them on TV? Was Will Greer a guy you saw? What did you know about West Virginia, if anything, before that started?
So all I knew about West Virginia was one of my best friends from growing up, still one of my best friends today. He played baseball here and was a big time pitcher here.
Who's that?
Cody Wood.
Okay.
Yeah, he played here for a little bit, and then so I knew about them from that, and then I remember seeing the legendary Will Greer Texas throw in the back of the end zone, just freaking dime, best throw I've ever seen.
Throw, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
unbelievable throw, unbelievable
great catch. Yeah, that was a good moment.
Yeah, that was awesome, and I literally, that's probably one of my favorite plays in college football.
He got a little Greer to him.
Oh yeah,
doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
he got a little Greer. He got
absolutely.
He got a little Greer.
Inspiration. I mean, I've been ever since that. I was a big follower of him, and the other thing I saw all the time that was on my feed like 24/7 was this West Virginia quarterback who wore number 11. He had a Vices helmet on, and I remember he threw a touchdown. Then he looked at the camera and went like that.
Shaq Allison.
Yeah,
that's one of the all-time great clips.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's almost one. I'm with you. I have watched that maybe 6,000 times and cackle every time I do, and watch it and go, was that he did that in a game?
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
You know what he's talking about?
I know exactly.
I mean that close up, and you're right. He looks over and gives like that can't be real.
It was
they had to do that
smooth.
in practice.
Exactly. And that's what I thought too. And I was like, gosh, that guy is smooth for that. He's the man for that.
Moment.
Yeah,
it was his best moment as a Mountaineer. Thanks, Jack.
That
was his highlight. It was awesome.
That was his highlight. That was his mic drop right
sure.
there. More with Nico now. Exactly what was it that attracted him to WVU? From a facility standpoint, where's West Virginia stack?
Right on the top. I mean, we, like you said, we saw everyone. I saw the top dogs in the SEC, top dog in the Pac-12, everyone. I mean, this is the brand new, top of the line technology, everything. Everything is just brand spanking new here, and it's definitely number one. So,
coming from a football family, what was your dad's advice during this process as to how you should look at things?
It was definitely a lot of advice from my dad, but more my brother. And what they were telling me is take your time. Take your time, look at everything, make sure it is. I mean, because you're committing to them just as much as they're committing to you just as much as you're committing to them. And the three things I would look for was building a relationship with a coach, place where I can get on the field early and play, and a place that's going to help me, get to the league and capture my dreams. And you just go through all the programs and you're like, all right, the school has that, but they're missing that, and it just takes time. And honestly, messed up the first time and was too fast in the recruiting process, and was honestly, I wouldn't say tricked, but kind of rushed into things, and it wasn't moving at my pace the way I wanted it to, and I only realized that when it was too late, when I was already committed. And then when I decommitted, I knew, all right, let's take a complete fresh start. Let's look at something totally different from the other schools, and something that's kind of out of my comfort zone, but someplace that I can really, really see myself, and that was West Virginia.
Sometimes athletes go their separate ways when their careers are over, and you really don't hear from them much. Others, they're still kind of around. Canute Curtis, one of the all-time great Mountaineer football players, Hall of Fame member, just does not do interviews, which made us extremely excited to be able to spend some time with him. And one of the topics that we covered with Canute was what exactly got him interested in attending West Virginia. What was it that had you interested in WVU?
Which that was a good tease, by the way.
Yeah, it was really good.
Could be this
really
broadcasting
good.
thing.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Okay.
No, you know what? It was just my ignorance. Let me tell you why. Because I had a cousin that I was really close with that lived in Richmond, Virginia. And for some reason, I'm a kid from Long Island that I'd never been anywhere really. I said, hell, if she lives in Richmond, Virginia, West Virginia can't be too far from there. I could see her on the weekend. So, you know what I mean? And I said, oh, that's fine. Let me go down there to West Virginia. It's got to be close to Richmond.
How about that?
And that's one of the reasons why I was interested in West Virginia.
How about that? And so Dave finds out.
Hold on one second before you go.
Sure.
For all the angst that has caused West Virginia people over the years, getting it confused with Virginia, that might be the all-time great positive that came out of
Greatest.
the Virginia, West Virginia. That's excellent.
Greatest dividend ever.
That helps. That paid off big.
No
okay,
idea.
thanks to you.
I had no idea. I thought that Richmond, I could go see her every other day or something like that. You know what I mean? I had no idea. Again, I didn't know. I was 17 and didn't know anything.
Well, no matter how good you become, when you come in, you're still the new guy. And Canute Curtis still has some vivid memories of those big older guys that were taking shots at him when he first joined the Mountaineer football program. What was the true freshman season like for you?
Oh, God. The first thing that was a big shock, it was in New York, Long Island, we never had two-a-days. So the first practice happens, I'm ready to go home. I take a shower, and I'm ready to go back to the dorms, and I see guys putting their pads in the sauna. And I was like, why are you guys putting pads in the sauna? You know, so they can dry out for the next one. I said, next one? They'll be dry by tomorrow. I never did two-a-days, so that was a shock. And it was hot, too, and that was a big shock. I didn't know if this was for me. I said, we got to practice 2 days in a row? 2 times in a row in one day? So that was a big shock. Then, I don't know if you remember, but we might have had one of, I thought, the best offensive linemen that we had since when I was there, when I got there my freshman year, when we had people like Rich Bram, Compton, Alonzo. Remember Big Alonzo?
Oh, Alonzo Styles, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had those guys on the line, and I'm telling you what, they used to try to kill me at practice. And, so my freshman year wasn't all that great. I couldn't stand Rich Bram. I hated Rich Bram the freshman year.
Yeah.
And when I say I've never seen a guy practice hard, play hard, and would not give you a break. Rich Bram he would just crush me every day. I didn't even know his name. I used to just be like, I hate 78. I can't stand him, But that was my freshman year. So those guys got me ready to play college football. Took a beating every day.
From a Hall of Fame Mountaineer football player to a potential Hall of Fame Mountaineer basketball player, Taz Sherman running the show this season for the Mountaineer basketball team. He had to make a decision. Should he or should he not come back to play this year? We asked Taz exactly what was it that made him say yes.
And you had an opportunity to leave and go either try at the NBA or try overseas and actually make some money playing basketball. Did this enter your mind when you decided to come back, that you said, hey, I can still make some dollars this year while being at West Virginia and improve my game and continue with the college basketball experience? Did that factor into your decision?
Actually, no, it didn't. Before the NIL stuff was approved, I was just kind of thinking like, oh, they're just kind of having the NIL stuff just for like, I don't know, I didn't know how fast it was going to be enacted. And I remember I was down in Florida. I think we had talked together when I was in Florida with JB and his family.
Remember, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I made my decision just on the fly and just talking with some people. And I was like, okay, what is the best decision possible? Like, yeah, I can go overseas, Japan, Korea, wherever, and make some money. But how much money do I really, what's my worth really? And coming back an extra year is not the worst thing in the world. Like, you still get an extra year of education, even though for some people it doesn't matter. But for me, that kind of matters. A lot of people where I'm from don't get to go to college and stuff. So extra year in college is not that bad playing for a top team in the country. Like, you really can't beat it. And then when the NIL stuff came out, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely made a great decision.
We transition now from our interview guest to some of the funny stuff that happened during the show in 2021. But first, this reminder, we are indebted to the folks that sponsor our program, and that includes Burdett Camping Center located in Winfield. They've been absolutely fantastic, creative promotions all season long, and they offer a warranty forever, the only dealership in West Virginia that offers a warranty forever. You buy it there, and it is under warranty for as long as you own it. You can check them out at burdettcamping.com, located in Winfield, burdettcamping.com. Special thanks to Phil, Zach, and all the guys at Burdett Camping for being one of our long-term sponsors on Three Guys Before the Game, and more promotions and interesting contests coming up from them as we head into the new year. Three Guys is also brought to us by West Virginia Game Changer. What they're all about is supporting and encouraging young West Virginians to do things right, leading addiction-free lives. You can help out West Virginia families and children by becoming a Game Changer. You can visit them at wvgamechanger.com. That's wvgamechanger.com. We move ahead now. A lot of names have been used to describe three guys before the game. The one common one, though, seems to be coming from the female demographic. Oftentimes, girlfriends or wives, for some reason, they call us idiots. Hoppy, I remembered, I said, I want to use this on Monday's show, so I hid something down here.
Oh.
It's stunning and remarkable that you remember that.
Okay. You're like this, Hoppy.
That was your safekeeping?
Yeah.
How'd you remember it was there? Did you just see a piece of yellow down there?
Someone said, my girlfriend used to make fun of me for listening to your podcast. That's our next texter. And so I thought, oh, yeah, we got to read
this. Oh, is this the one from our...
No, this is
from our delivery?
Yeah, Friday night, Hoppy, we received a package from John Beasley, Raleigh County, Beckley.
Okay.
Three guys. You get to enjoy some of my late arriving Christmas gifts. Reverend Beard of Oakdale, Louisiana, is the cook for these two types of peanut brittle. I ordered quite a bit of brittle and had two remaining. So my wife said, quote, send it to those idiots you're always listening to on the radio.
Nailed it.
Her words, not mine. Enjoy the brittle as I enjoy the show. Thank you, John Beasley. They're down there in Raleigh County. So his wife said, quote, send it to those idiots you always listen to on the radio. So thank you.
It's a very balanced coverage from the gentleman that said we were likable. Now we got Mrs. Beasley calling us idiots. Okay, got it right.
If you're a regular, you know that one of the big themes, expected or unexpected this season, was the whole boar deal. It started off in conversation. It led to a hunt. Well, we'll just pick it up from there. I talked to a well-respected hunter here in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Brian Prim. I mean, he's gone all over. Yeah. Brian, you know Brian. Yeah. Attorney here in West Virginia and a big hunter. I mean, he's gotten big bears in Canada. He goes all over the place and just, you know. And I said, you been listening about this boar hunt deal thing? And he goes, yeah. He said, yeah, I've been listening. And he said, well, what do you think? Do you think Hoppy and Brad are right that I would screw up and shoot into the air? And he goes, no, I don't think that's the case at all. He said, I'll tell you, to be quite honest with you, he goes, among the three of you guys, he said, you're the guy that I would want to go with if it came to a boar.
All right.
Yeah, he thought you guys wouldn't be able to handle it. He thought that I would be able to handle it.
You don't have to try and turn it on us now. Just because he accurately described you don't have to try and go find expert witnesses to come against us. This isn't a discussion of the three of us. This is just simply you couldn't handle it.
Neither Brad nor I ever expressed any intent.
Good point.
To go boar hunting.
And we definitely didn't brag about it.
Exactly.
We definitely didn't brag about our ability to shoot down a boar as he did.
And he hasn't even done it.
No.
Well, you guys, I'll get the last laugh on this when I'm standing with my foot on top of a boar somewhere in southern West Virginia.
And then you will.
And then I'll be taunting you.
We're not talking about a pork loin either. You bought at Kroger. We're talking about
full video too.
Yeah.
Like the full experience.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want someone else standing in front of you to help you. No. Stare it down while it's in full stride at you. Full stride.
Right, now listen.
Like a GoPro attached to you or something. I want to see the angle of the thing running right at you.
Dude.
Snot flying out of it. Those big tusks. I don't want some little itty bitty thing either. This needs to be one of those big hosses. It needs to be able to do some damage when it reaches you. So you fire into the trees.
And don't take the picture with the thing real close to the camera like a fish. So it looks like it's really big.
You're saying you don't want to spiral. You're saying you don't want to spiral ham.
No, I don't want you to be able to pick the thing up in one hand. I want it to be like that picture that guy sent in the back of the truck.
I don't know
when it's like three times the size of you.
I don't know how big the boars are in West Virginia. Obviously, there are boar in West Virginia. I don't know if they're those big 400, 500, 700 pounds. And listen, dude. It's rare when they run at you.
He's going to shoot a hamster and then try and claim victory. It's going to be like a bunny running at him, and he's going to stand over the thing and come in here and run his mouth.
I don't know.
It better have tusks, right? Don't those things have tusks coming out of them?
Some do. I don't know if the ones in West Virginia do or not. I don't know. Can we get Chris Lawrence?
He knows.
Well, he'll know. Yeah, he'll know.
Oh, do you have a gun?
I'll get one.
Do you have a hunting permit?
Not yet.
Do you have a license? Do you have anything? Do you have anything?
Hang on.
Do you have anything?
Hang on. I'm calling.
Other than just this idea.
And he's trying to attack us.
Hang on a second. I'm calling. Hey, Chris. Listen, it's Tony. We're recording. You're on the air. Well, you're not on the air, but I'm talking you on the air during our podcast. Do the boars in West Virginia have tusks? And what would the biggest one be?
Here comes a long answer.
I got to do it quick. I'm on. You got
and overall size.
Like, what's the biggest one? How many pounds would be the biggest one? Yeah. He said a couple 100 pounds.
Oh, there we go.
And would they have tusks?
Yeah.
Some do, some not. Now, do you think I might be able to get one of them their permits on that lottery for the boar thing? Yeah, West Virginia. Yeah. Okay. All right, good deal. Thank you. We've deputized you, by the way, as our boar hunting expert. He's killed one.
Oh, I believe that. That I believe.
He's a hunter.
Good deal.
Yeah, that I believe.
All right, Chris, thank you. All right, yeah. He seems to be pretty confident that he says I'm a West Virginia resident. I can put my name in. He says there are a couple 100 pounds in West Virginia, and some do have tusks.
Okay, that's what I want. I want one pushing 150 with tusks. Otherwise, don't come back here.
Earlier this week, I received a pair of photographs from a longtime listener, Charlie in Lumberport. And I want to share those with you for those of you that are watching. He had a friend out hunting. Yeah, thank you very much. Boys.
Is that a bear?
That is a boar from Princeton, Mercer County area.
That was killed.
That's in the state?
Yeah, that's in the state. My man got that. Those two fellas got that.
Oh.
That thing field dressed at 450 pounds.
Get out.
450. Now, I'm assuming
you got no chance against that thing. You couldn't handle the rat size boar. You got no chance there. First of all, that thing goes, that doesn't hit him in the shins. That goes through him like a form tackle right in his chest.
Or you want to see something else? Want to see something else? Look at his tusks.
I can't see it.
What do you mean you can't see it? Look next to the thumb. Those are tusks coming up. Those are 3-inch tusks. That's a hog.
That thing's 400.
450 field dressed. Wow. 450 field dressed. Hey, Taylor, go back to it standing straight up.
Oh, I've never been more sure of anything in my life, Hoppy, that he can't handle that.
Hey, boys.
I mean, I thought it was like a, little
like
you could pick it up if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was big. It came in at 60 pounds, maybe. I didn't think we had 450.
Hey, let me ask you this.
He can't do that.
Let me ask you this.
No.
Did you have any idea those are walking around in West Virginia?
No, I thought some smaller ones, but not that size.
That thing's unbelievable. So thank you, Charlie, so very, very much for sending that along. I want to talk to those guys.
Charlie,
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
I want to talk to that guy. I'd love to just get the story. Like, tell me about this whole thing. How'd you do that? And now I want to know when he eats it, like, how good is that? We had Colt McKivitz on last night, Hoppy, on Sportsline. He thought I could do it.
Here, while we're taking restarts and pauses, we should have done this in the 2 weeks when there was no basketball. You really needed to have already gone in. You haven't, so you need to. And you can put this podcast in categories. I think we're ill marked in sports right now. It really needs to get into wildlife or outdoors, right? I mean, this has turned into a boar podcast.
It is. Outdoors today.
I mean, we're really niched.
By 3 amateurs, too. It's not like Chris Lawrence is doing this show. We're just guys like sports guys going, look at the size of that hog. My God.
Well, I sent those two pictures to Chris Lawrence.
Oh, yeah?
He wrote back, that's a big one. He said, that's a big one. He said, you should have photoshopped your head on that thing and pretended you got it. But hey, Brad, Hoppy, this is the impact we've had on boars in West Virginia from our guy who's a regular. Is this Andy, the stats guy?
Yeah, WV stats guy on Twitter.
Listen to this, Hoppy.
Tweets at us, says, the three guys effect. The term boar hunting has been searched more in the state of West Virginia than any other state in the last month. West Virginia leading in boar hunt searches.
These guys, as you know, they've been busting on me. You think I could take one of these down?
No doubt about it. You could actually harvest you a nice hog.
Are you just saying that, Bill, because it's Tony Caridi?
I mean, if you were with him, Bill, I would buy that. But by himself turned loose, he hadn't taken that thing down.
He'd be with me. Yeah, he'd be with me.
That's your only. He'd have to take the shot, too.
Bill, you're an experienced hunter. Tony doesn't have a rifle. He doesn't hunt. He doesn't even have.
That's like golfing. You just rent clubs. You just rent a gun. You just get a gun. Ice skating. You just rent skates.
You wouldn't have to rent one.
No.
I would loan you one.
He'd give me that $450. I'd drop that pig. Hey, no.
Not to mention, to fit the parameters of this discussion, it would have to be running at you.
Well, that's hard to do. That's hard.
No. That's the deal. If it's not running at you, I don't care.
Bill, do you think you could somehow arrange for the hog to run at Tony? Is that possible? Because this is that's part of the deal.
And that's what he was bragging about, Bill. That's why we're saying that. He said he could do that, which he can't. But can you arrange that?
I'm sure we could arrange one to run at him.
There. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's normally how you hunt them. You get them to run, you across, and they,
Not across, not across.
At you.
Jeez, you guys. I mean,
Well, you said it. You set the parameters. We're just reminding.
I said I would like.
Because he's moving the goalposts, not us.
I said I would like to have one run at me and just take it down.
Hey, Dave, in all seriousness, and there's more to the story I want to hear, but in all seriousness, for a guy who has never shot a gun in his life to take 2 practice shots and go out and from 40 yards hit that hog, that's a 1%er right there, isn't it?
I can honestly say he did a great job. He really did.
How big was this thing, do we think?
I'm real comfortable to tell you it was 200 pounds solid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's the picture?
The tusks on it, they were a good solid 2 inches. The cutters on it were probably 1.5 inches. And I mean this pig, honestly, and I'm not puffing this up because of you guys are on the show and all that stuff. This pig was truly the real deal. This is exactly what he wanted to kill.
Wow. We're watching it right now. If you're watching on WVMetroNews.com, pulling it up on the video stream, you can say, that's a big dude.
Look
now.
Look where Tony got him, Dave. He got him right there.
Oh, it was perfect.
That's a kill
It
shot.
was an absolute perfect shot. That pig never took a step.
He was mean and ugly, wasn't he?
He was. and the hog was too.
Yeah, the hog was too.
You're in full gear with the pig.
Well, you had to wear the camo. I mean, I want to thank the team. Jerry McCauley from J&J Outdoor Video Magazine. He's got one of his sponsors provided the gear.
Yeah. Elk River Outfitters provided the gear.
We've covered a lot of ground on this show. Never did I think I'd be staring at a picture of you sitting in the woods, full camo, with a giant Alf-looking big hog on your legs.
With a big you-know-what-eating grin on your face.
This is unbelievable.
Yes. Did not expect this. The pig, and I'll be surprised you'll be surprised where I'm going on this eventually, but the pig did run at Tony.
Charged him.
Did the pig charge Tony?
No, the pig charged Dave the day before.
The pig charged me.
Okay. But the day...
Oh, wait, hold on. That's a point of clarification. That's a good question, counselor.
Hey, Dave,
so this is a pig that charges, but when Tony was with you, it wasn't necessarily charging you. Important point of clarification, Dave, please.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And as much as I wanted that pig to charge him, it really did not.
Okay.
You probably wanted to more than I did. But anyway. Well... There's no sense in shrouding the fact. Hoppy's getting older, and so during the course of the year, we have noticed that Hoppy just has started to do old man things. I'm bullish on WV's upside and growth potential this season. Go Ears. Why'd you leave the set? Taylor, cut to Hoppy. Why? What
just happened? What is going on?
What are you doing? What happened?
I had to sneeze.
Well, why'd you have to stand up?
Well, I want to get away from...
Well, you can shut your mic off and turn over that way. Sniffle into the wall instead of walking back there like you were leaving.
I feel like an old guy.
Don't pretend you feel like an old guy. You are an old guy. That's an old guy move.
Oh, it's getting warm in It's getting warm in here.
I feel like an old guy.
That was an old guy move. You know what old guys do? They just throw total disregard to any decorum. They just do anything. They just drop their pants and pull them up and tuck their shirt. That's an old guy move, right? Just right in the middle of the mall, just straighten out a little bit. Pants down to your ankles. Kirchhoff will just walk back to the wall and sneezed into it. I didn't want to be like an old man. Well, you were an old man by doing that. Be a young man. Wipe it on your sleeve. The senator brings a lot to the program, a lot of heavy, heavy data. In fact, some of that data is so strong, so significant, that it left Hoppy in utter amazement.
Watch Maceo Teague and who he's guarding. So this is going to be key, Hoppy, and this is why it's so critical for West Virginia, where you can go Deuce, you can go Sherman, you can go McNeil. Maybe Jalen Bridges has a big game here. You can't stop all four. You haven't been able to stop all four yet. Teague's probably going to lock somebody up. Opposing players are shooting 17% from the field against Maceo Teague. Wow. So the guy Maceo Teague is guarding is only shooting 17% from the field, and that, I think, is your jaw-dropping stat of the day.
That is so confounding. I'm switching from jaw dropping to chewing on my glasses.
I guess you could call this an eclectic show. Thanks a lot to the references that Hoppy Kercheval makes, from Greek philosophers to some of the greatest Americans of all time.
I look at it at a macro level and probably an idealistic level. At the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Franklin said, we must all hang together, or most assuredly, we will all hang separately. Meaning if they did not stick together, they were all going to hang as traitors.
I like that. That's great.
So it was important for them, even though they had disparate interests, different geographic locations in the 13 colonies, but they hung together to create a country. Now, it's probably too much to hope for that these schools can, but if these schools, if these institutions, if these conferences could somehow find it within them to set aside just a little bit of their self-interest and see a greater good, it would overwhelm what the SEC and the ESPN are trying to do.
I think if you're a regular, you know that we're much, much more complex, much, much more sophisticated than just sports guys. There's so much that we're into. And for me, that includes my banjo and my dog.
Some weird banjo playing thing or something he'll do. He likes to do that.
Yeah.
Is it a banjo? What do you play?
Banjo.
Yeah. You haven't played it in a while, though.
No, I do when the dog goes out to pee at night.
Excuse me?
So
that's when you play the banjo? That was very niche. That's when you play the only time you can play the banjo is when the dog goes out to the bathroom?
Yeah, when I go.
Is that causation or correlation?
He goes out for the night, and I know he's going to take his time. He's going to take his time outside, so I say, okay, hell, I'll just pick this up and play it a little bit until he walks back in. Okay, that's done.
So you playing the banjo makes him pee? Or
No.
when he pees, you play the banjo? Which happens?
He goes out.
But does he not pee until he hears you play the banjo?
Here's how the whole thing happened. I'd go out.
What time is this?
When I go to bed, it could be anywhere from 10 to 11 o'clock.
You are a fascinating dude.
So I can put him out. Well, here's the deal. No, here's why.
Quirky. He's quirky.
Here's the banjo when the dog goes out. What are we doing?
Here's why.
And the neighbors all go, the Carides dog must be going out to take a pee because Tony's playing the banjo.
Stop for a second. I just asked him. He used to play banjo. Stop. I said, you still play the banjo? Like, I said, just play the banjo. I haven't talked about the banjo. And his answer, and we just kind of moved it, when the dog goes out to pee. That was his answer. Not like, sometimes in the off season when there's no game on Saturdays, I pick it up. Friday night, we sit outside on the screen porch. I played a little bit. He said when the dog goes out to pee.
What do you do when a dog poops? Play the drums?
So I sit at my desk at night, and I do my charts. When the night comes to an end, time to take the dog out. What would happen was I'd go out on the porch, and he would just kind of, he's a Wheaton Terrier, so he's stubborn by nature. So, like, if I go come on, let's go, man, let's go in. He just give me that look.
Mm-hmm.
So I go okay, dude, fine. You going to play with me? Fine. I'm going in the house. You come in whenever you want. I'm going to play the banjo until you get in. That's how because I'm thinking time management. I can get a little something done while he's out there standing in the middle of the lawn doing nothing. He thinks he was going to pull one over on me. I'm getting stuff done.
Scopes is like, I'm smarter than that dog. That dog's not going to beat me.
As I said earlier, Hoppy kind of runs the rule. 3, 2, 1. As I said earlier, Hoppy, he kind of bounces around a little bit when he makes his references. He goes all over the place. So we did philosophers. We did Ben Franklin. How about Zeppelin? Yeah, Zeppelin.
Tony, today is the 50th anniversary of the release of one of the great classic rock albums of all time, Led Zeppelin 4. Okay, they didn't give it a name, but it was commonly known as Led Zeppelin 4. That's the album had Stairway to Heaven on it. But the fourth cut on side 2 was When the Levee Breaks, which is a great, great song. But I imagine Jarrett Deggy, who's going to take heat for not finding receivers if they were open. But I mean, the levee, how many times did the levee break on Jarrett Deggy Saturday when this poor guy, he didn't know whether to, or wind his watch?
Yeah.
I mean, from 8 sacks and Brad, how many hurries?
Something 17 or something pressures. Yeah, a lot.
So you say, why isn't he finding an open guy? Because the instinct to survive is very strong. And that was one of the many things that went wrong. I mean, they had a very good defense, and you get on a quarterback like that, I don't care who it is, you put that kind of pressure, you have that levee-breaking mentality of your defensive line. They brought some extra guys, Brad. I'm sorry, you can't do anything with that.
Honestly, the intent here was not to pile on Hoppy. But my man, he's got some unique things going on, including his Sunday morning ritual.
Every Sunday morning, we have a ritual. My wife reads me the scores.
She's practicing for the future.
Excuse me?
My wife reads me the scores. It's kind of a thing we do. I sit there, and she reads the scores, and she comments on them, and I comment on them. And she said, and Kansas.
Why didn't you record that? That might have been better than this podcast is going to be. Why didn't you just record that Sunday? Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
And adds her comments, which are very entertaining. And she said, "Oh, and Kansas beat Texas." I said, "Wait, what? What? No, you're wrong. Double check that."
Did she know the severity of that upset?
I don't think she did at the moment. But
can you record that next week, Karen reading Hoppy the scores? Because let me tell you something. In about 7 years from now, it's going to be, Hoppy, it's me, Karen. Sunday morning, we're going to do the scores now. Bucknell 17, Lehigh 12. You may have gotten the point by now that what we do on a regular basis is not scripted. You could say not planned at all. And sometimes things happen on the set that we didn't even anticipate. Tanner in Tallcut. He gave me a pronouncer. Tallcut. Did you know that, Hop? Do you know Tallcut?
Are you leaving?
Where are you going? Get my banjo. Why? Because you're going to pee?
This is the greatest show ever.
I mean,
this really is the greatest show.
How bad does that? I mean, how bad you got to pee where you got to get up while you're on the air?
It has been a long episode.
Dude, we started at like 12. We've been on the air for less than an hour. On the air. We've been recording this on the air. We've been recording this for less than an hour. My man can't go for less than an hour?
I know, but he was seated for 20 minutes before that.
He peed after his show was over.
But he sat in here for 20 minutes before you began recording.
So what's the total length?
Closing in on an hour and a half. Hour 20.
He can't go an hour and 20?
Well, apparently not, because he didn't. He just got up. So the answer to that question is apparently not.
How old is he?
Well, he's old.
So that's what's going to happen to us?
Well, that happens. Yours is coming.
Like that often you got to go?
I'm surprised you haven't got up in the middle of this. You need me to slide over and close it?
I'm good now, man. I'm good. I hate to see it come to that.
You're probably not as hydrated as he is.
So should he like order some of them pills they talk about on those, when you're listening to radio commercials, like take this and it shrinks something?
He's got a big thing of water over there, so he probably drank coffee this morning, probably had something during his show. He's got another glass of water over there. I don't see what the issue is.
Well, he might want to put 2 and 2 together and stop drinking all that stuff so he doesn't leave the program.
I stay hydrated.
See?
I had extra coffee today. I'm not sure why. I had like 4 cups of coffee. I have like 3 big glasses of water. I mean.
Oh, see? I told you.
This is the most we've talked.
I was trying to defend you.
Thank you.
This is the most we've talked about pee since Owen went in that Starbucks cup that time.
And you playing your banjo. So it comes up probably more than it should, to be honest.
We do mature and hopefully we grow with more wisdom as we get older, but sometimes there are unintended consequences to what we've done in our past. And for me, I suffered for many years because of my collegiate procrastination. I already tell you about my senior year, Stories of the Sea.
Stories of the Sea?
Was that a class?
Yeah, took a class called Stories of the Sea.
Excuse me?
English minor. And so
Stories of the Sea.
Stories of the Sea.
So it's like a prize basketball recruit up there? What's he taking Stories of the Sea?
It's like Moby Dick and all of these great stories about what? Well, it's senior year. I'm not really that concerned about Stories of the Sea. I mean, I'm going to be a broadcaster, right? I'm going to be a play-by-play guy. So I said my level of interest is with the basketball team going to the NCAA tournament. This is spring semester. So I didn't read any of the books. You think I'm going to read Moby Dick? Like, are you kidding me?
That takes forever.
Are you kidding me? So now, and I'll
So you're in a class called Stories of the Sea, and you refuse to read Moby Dick.
Didn't have time. That was just one of the many stories. Well, yeah. So you know what I did? I went and got the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I dug in on those Cliff Notes the night before. And it's an essay. You go in there, and it's got like, compare the 3 themes to Moby Dick compared to Ahab. So you know me. I went like, okay, ready? Here we go. Give me 2 of them blue books. Give me 2. Give me 2 pens. Here comes everything I got, baby. In the symbolism of Moby Dick and Captain Ahab, and the water could be seen through a translucent disparity between the people. And I mean, I just laid it all out there. Got a B.
Got a B.
Got a B. Moved
Never
up.
read the books and got a B.
Absolutely.
I'd impugn Syracuse.
I don't want to hear any more about Syracuse. Tough school to get into. New house.
But anyway.
He took fencing and Stories of the Sea.
No, Stories of the Sea was when I was at Geneseo. Fencing was I was at Geneseo. Anyway, I had a bad
Oh, you weren't a D1 fencer?
No.
Oh.
Well, there you have it. We're calling it our best of 2021. You can be the judge on that. Maybe it's our best, but that might not mean a whole lot to you. Listen, one thing I do know is that we really do appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching, and we're rolling along here. This is episode number 341. This started in August of 2017, so we are rolling. The show continues to grow, and it doesn't grow without people like you listening and recommending it and suggesting it to other mountaineer type. So we really, truly do appreciate that. And if you want to, continue to do that. Let people know about the show. You can put a review on wherever you listen to the podcast, whether it's Apple or Spotify or whatever it may be. Also, special thank you to all the people that have given us and sent us food through the years. I know beggars and things. We probably don't need to do that, but really, truly do appreciate it, because the sense that we get is you guys like the stuff that we're doing so much, you're just going like, here, just want to give you a little something for helping you. Well, you're helping us as well, so we really do thank you. And a special thank you to our sponsors as well. Fine folks at Caesars Sportsbook. Download, get started, risk-free bet of up to $1,001. They constantly have great promotions going on, so check it out. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please do. Caesars Sportsbook. And by Comax Business Systems, full-service Konica Minolta dealer. They're ready to come in whenever you call to do that free audit of your business and let you know where you're strong and where you're not strong when it comes to your networking and your data. Burdette Camping Center, only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them, BurdetteCamping.com. And by West Virginia Game Changer, go to WVGameChanger.com. Thanks so much for being with us as we turn the corner from 2021 to 2022. A lot to jump into in the year ahead. Special thank you to our producer, Taylor Kennedy, for putting this together and his help all year long. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Episode 341, 3 Guys Before the Game, our best of 2021, over and out. See you.